This is probably one of the most important wealth transfers that everybody should be paying attention to. Something like this is not going to happen anytime soon. And this is literally once in a lifetime opportunity. In fact, this is the reason why every single person that is watching this video right now already should be in the markets. Because if you miss this opportunity, there is not going to be anything like that anytime soon. So listen very carefully. If you look at the largest companies back in 1990s, let's say 1995, these are the S&P 500 companies. At the top of the list, you will see ExxonMobil, the company that extracts oil and sells oil. The second world's largest company was Coca-Cola, and both of them were valued at about $100 billion. Then you have Bank of America, Raytheon, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, and so on and so forth. What is very interesting in this list is that you don't see a lot of tech companies. In fact, you don't see any tech company except the three: Microsoft, IBM, and Intel. Microsoft was already the largest technology company together with IBM, and Intel was producing chips because back in the days we already had some kind of phones, we had computers, we already had some kind of technologies, and these technologies always needed some kind of chips in order to function. However, they did not play the biggest role. In fact, if you look at the valuation of Intel, it was half of the ExxonMobil. But if you take this graph and you compare it to the largest corporations today, you will see that those corporations missed their crown. For example, the largest corporation today is Nvidia, that is valued at about $4.3 trillion. Microsoft, that only was valued at about $60 or $70 billion, today worth $3.7 trillion. In fact, the entire S&P 500 today mainly consists of the technology companies, and ExxonMobil, that was dominating the S&P 500 back in 1990s, that had all the resources in the world, literally just fade away, and nobody talks about ExxonMobil today. In fact, when we talk about ExxonMobil, we talk about a company that is about to disappear in 20 or 30 years from now. The only reason they exist is because oil, to a certain extent, it's still relevant in the world, of course, and the world will still need a lot of oil. But over time, the valuation of ExxonMobil is only going to fade away. And today, it's not even in the top 10 largest corporations. In fact, it is valued at $465 billion. So the real question is that all these corporations that had all the money in the world back in 1990s, why exactly they did not conquer? Why exactly they did not become the most valuable companies today? Just take Coca-Cola, for example. Today it's worth $300 billion. Even though that it had all the money in the world to invest it in the right companies or acquire the right companies back in 1990s or use the internet in such a way to become the world's most valuable company. But they missed their train. Take Merck, take Bank of America, that is valued today at $365 billion. Yes, all of these corporations grew maybe by 200%, 300%, but not much. The real question is that they dominated, they had all the advantages in the world, and yet they did not take full advantage out of internet, and they got into the internet pretty late when the entire industry was already conquered by the startups. Even 20 years ago, if you invested like $10,000 into any of these corporations, how much they would amount today? We're not even talking about 1990s where it was not clear what is internet. We're already talking about after the dot-com bubble, after the bubble burst, and we realized the potential of the internet, and that internet is about to take over everything. Even then, if you invested, for example, in Nvidia, $10,000, today it would worth $6 to $7 million. Into Microsoft, $500,000. Into Apple, $3.6 million. Into Amazon and Google, a little over $1 million. Just $10,000. Imagine how much people made by investing into these corporations over a very long period of time, and they have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what happened over the last 30 years is that since 1990s, probably up until 2015, most of the wealth in the society has transferred from the people, from everyone else who had that wealth, to the people who consistently started investing in the technology stocks, to the people who invented this technology, to the people who kept developing this technology and developing these companies. You see, it's very difficult to, for example, compete with Amazon. You're not going to have multiple Amazons because Amazon got into the game. They were very early into the game. Jeff Bezos understood the game and he kept expanding Amazon. So it's very difficult to compete with Amazon. It was far better for the vast majority of people who did not invent Amazon back in the days, simply invest in the winners of technology companies. And by early 2000s, it was already clear that Amazon, first of all, survived the dot-com bubble. Secondly, they were already expanding. And thirdly, they had no competition or whatsoever. So by investing in these companies, these people today became the world's largest or the wealthiest people. The wealth over the last 30 years simply transferred from everyone else, even the people who controlled the wealth back in 1990s, to the new people who kept investing in the right assets, who kept investing in this thing called internet. But the real question is that why the dot-com revolution primarily happened in the United States and not anywhere else. In fact, this is the list of the largest corporations in the world today. Not just the United States, literally the world. All of them are technology companies, and most of them are in the United States besides Saudi Aramco or TSMC. Now, Saudi Aramco is one of the largest corporations simply because they own all the oil under Saudi Arabia. That's it. If you take that, Saudi Arabia worth absolutely nothing. So it's a state-backed corporation. TSMC is a technology company, not a US company, but still, it's a technology company. See, if you go back to 1990s, the United States was the center of the world. It was the world's largest economy. It was the most powerful economy. It was the most powerful country. And it made sense why the dot-com revolution took place in the United States. And that's why if you look at the world's largest corporation today, all of them are from the United States. However, we are about to witness another revolution, which is the AI revolution. And the problem is that this AI revolution is not simply taking place in the United States, but it's also taking place in China and the rest of the world. Because if you look at the world's largest economies today, the United States today is not in a position that it was back in 1990s when the entire internet revolution would simply take place in the United States. In 1990s, China was pretty much one of the poorest countries in the world. European Union was still trying to become a European Union, and the rest of the world was far away from the United States. The only country that could compete with the US was Japan, and Japan's entire business model was not even producing technologies or software. I would say they more focused on physical goods and exported them to the United States and made most of their money. But China today is not like that. China is leading the world in multiple technologies, and their main client is not just the United States, but the rest of the world. In fact, according to a lot of estimates, by 2050, United States will already lose its crown as the world's largest economy, and China will become the world's largest economy. In fact, even India is going to become one of the world's largest economies in the world. So what is going to happen is that this AI revolution that is taking place right now, and the companies who are taking advantage out of it, is most likely the last major change or the major technology that is going to take place primarily in the United States. Yes, we have a lot of competitors that are coming out from China, companies such as Alibaba, DeepSeek, and so on and so forth, but still, they're behind the United States. But the next revolution, which might happen in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, or 50 years from now, primarily is not going to happen in the US because the US will lose its status as the world's largest economy. So, investing in the AI technologies, investing in the AI companies today is probably the last opportunity that everybody is going to have to take the best advantage out of it. Now, 20 years from now, when we look at the S&P 500 companies, we're going to see the companies who will dominate that list are the companies today who are massively investing in AI technology. And that's why you see Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and everybody else, they're throwing billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. Maybe over the next decade, it's going to be tens of trillions of dollars into AI in order to dominate it, because they know the power of AI, and they know that AI is literally as great of a technology as internet was back in 1990s. Yes, we might be in the internet bubble, or I would say AI bubble, and this bubble could burst in the next year or so, but it's not going to burst to go to zero. When internet companies burst back in 2001, the Nasdaq, which primarily consists of internet companies, it crashed by about 80%. We're most likely not going to see any kind of crash that is similar to 80%, but we might see up to 30%. But even if that crash happens, it doesn't mean that the market is not going to continue to grow. The market is going to recover and it's going to continue to grow. So this is probably the most important time that you must be in the market and take advantage out of it, because we are not going to see anything similar to this yet again. In fact, if we are going to see something similar to that, it's going to happen probably 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And even if it happens, most likely the United States is no longer going to be the central place where all of that is going to take place in, but rather it will mostly take place in China, India, and the rest of the world. So make sure that you do not miss this opportunity. You might not be inventing this technology. You might not be coming out with these great ideas, but you know what you can do is find out which of these companies have the best opportunity to take advantage out of it. Analyze their financial statements, analyze their products, analyze their goals, analyze what they do. Become a professional investor and diversify into some of these stocks. Even one of them is going to shoot to the roof. Even if one of them is going to dominate the S&P 500 20 years from now, it is going to turn into, your investment can easily grow by thousands of percentages over that period of time. And a $10,000 investment today could be literally that $10,000 that will guarantee you a perfect retirement. But if you get it right, and if you go and start investing much more than that, you can easily retire with millions of dollars. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.